Well, we've reached just about the end of the work week. Thank you for choosing us on this Friday. I'm Jurnee Taylor. As we start the show, we are on standby to hear remarks from President Biden, and if needed, we will cut into programming to take the press conference. But for now, we have meteorologist Tracy Bean here in the Weather Center tracking your weekend forecast. Tracy, is there anything worth watching out for?
Oh, for sure. This morning we started off with lots of rainfall and some thunder passing through the metro into the northern portion of the state. Gave lots and lots of heavy rain. Right now here in the metro things are clear, but we do have an area starting to build right around Texarkana in that southwestern portion of the state. As the afternoon progresses, you'll see those storms start to build up. Once again, we do have an area of concern for severe weather, for gusty winds, smaller hail and isolated tornado. That's a very low threat, but something to keep in mind. But right now 79 degrees and that humidity right at 69%, so it is breezy and swampy out there. Around the rest of the state, a few 80s as well, 82 in Pine Bluff, but we've got those cooler areas as well, 68 in Clinton. So a big mix of everything today. For your planner, we're going to see a high today in the 70s. Plenty of the clouds are going to be out there, but we could see some rain showers push in late tonight into the evening. Then some of those could be severe, but I'll have more of my forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
We're just a few hours away from the start of the NCAA Regionals, and we're covering the bases for everything you need to know. THV 11's Tyler Cass is up in Fayetteville, where the Diamond Hogs are kicking off their playoff run, hosting Southeast Missouri State in just a couple of hours. Tyler, what are we expecting for the postseason?
Yeah, Jurnee, this has become a tradition up here in Fayetteville almost. 5 of the last 6 baseball seasons, the Razorbacks have hosted an NCAA Regional, and that's really impressive. Not a lot of teams get to say they do that even back-to-back years, and here in Fayetteville, oh, it's become old hat. I mean, you take a look at what's going on behind me. They just opened the gates to get inside the hog pen. Fans have been lined up, and I'm not kidding here, for days to get those front spots up along the gate. When we drove by just 30 minutes ago, this line stretched all the way down to the end of the street and then some. This place is going to be packed out, and it's going to be packed out hours before first pitch. For the Razorbacks, it's a home field advantage. Like you said, they're taking on Southeast Missouri State for the first game, and then Louisiana Tech and Kansas State will play in the late game tonight if the weather holds off, which for right now it is, but you know, knock on every piece of wood you see just to make sure that that stays the way it is. It's a double elimination tournament, so winning on day one is essential if you want to keep your pitchers fresh for the rest of the tournament. Arkansas and SEMO get going at 2 o'clock. The fans are already filing in at Baum Walker, and Dave Van Horn and his players know this is a home field advantage unlike any other.
Coming off like a 9-10 day road trip, you know, we didn't have to load back up after getting a few days off and head out again. We just get to continue our routine, and you know, rest is good at this time of the year.
We're super excited to be able to play in front of, you know, the greatest fans in college baseball, and just go out here and have this opportunity to play more baseball, because there's a lot of teams that weren't able to make the tournament, so we're very fortunate to be able to play some more games in front of our home fans.
You remember, this is noon on a Friday. It's not even a weekend, and these fans have been lined out here. If Arkansas wins this game at 2 o'clock today, they'll move to the winner's bracket tomorrow at 8 p.m. And that one, oh, you'll be pushing 14,000 strong here at Baum Walker. We'll have highlights for you once the game wraps up. It gets going at 2. For now, though, live from Fayetteville, Tyler Cass, THV 11 Sports. Guys.
All right, Tyler, thank you. Woo pig suey. All right, thank you. See you soon. History has been made as Donald Trump is now the first ever U.S. president to be convicted of felony crimes. Now, as he continues to insist no wrongdoing on his part, Michael George has more from outside Trump Tower.
Donald Trump is vowing to fight on, a day after a guilty verdict made him the first former president and presumptive Republican presidential nominee to be a convicted felon.
This is a scam. There's a rigged trial. It shouldn't have been in that venue. We shouldn't have had that judge.
12 Manhattan jurors deliberating for more than 11 hours over 2 days found Trump guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records related to a payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election to keep her quiet about an alleged sexual encounter.
The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken.
Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche said the trial was flawed from the start.
Because of everything around the lead up to this trial, it made it very difficult for the jury to evaluate the evidence kind of independent of what they knew coming in.
Trump could face prison time, but many legal experts say that's unlikely.
I don't see personally him being sentenced to prison time. I personally think there will be heavy fines and some sort of heavy probation.
Sentencing is set for July 11th, just days before the Republican National Convention. An early voter reaction appears split along party lines.
I don't think he got a fair trial.
I don't think it changed how I would vote in November.
Boo-hoo. I'm so sorry, Trump supporters. He went losing, so do you.
The Trump campaign says it raised nearly $35 million in the hours following the verdict. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
It is not any superintendent's dream to sit in this role, in this position, 2 years in, to be faced with making such tough decisions.
And those are the direct words from the Little Rock School District Superintendent, who is making do with less as $15 million gets stripped away from the budget. As a result, renewal notices have been sent to over 60 teachers. It's a decision fueled by indicators like performance or schedule changes, and leaves a hole of almost 100 teacher vacancies for next school year. The district says anyone with questions will have the opportunity to voice their concerns.
If employees feel as if that these non-renewals based upon performance is unjustified in any type of way, we have processes in place for them to be able to get due process.
The superintendent remains firm on his decisions and says this tough decision is being made to benefit the students.
As hard as these decisions are, I do not necessarily make apologies for us, regardless of what the teacher shortage is, regardless of what the shortages is among staff. I believe, one of the most important aspects of my job is to make sure that we have the best people in front of our kids as possible.
This afternoon, at least 29 teachers in the district have filed a grievance. The board heard five of them on Thursday night. A company known for providing upcoming teachers with professional development is fighting to renew its contract, and it comes with a hefty price tag. In 2011, the company Solution Tree signed an agreement with the state of Arkansas and the Department of Education, totaling out to $11 million. Fast forward to today, it is now time to renew that contract, but this time comes with a price tag of almost $100 million. But one lawmaker isn't having it.
And a recent study by the University of Arkansas, who put in a significant amount of time and study, said there's no difference between the outcomes for schools who use Solution Tree and schools who did not use Solution Tree.
Solution Tree, on the other hand, says that their program has led to improved scores in some schools. Lawmakers were supposed to discuss the contract today, but the topic has since been pulled from the agenda. Scammers are always on the prowl, and we want to bring your attention to a major threat to watch out for the next time you look into buying a car. The Department of Finance and Administration tells us that people are using social media sites like Facebook and Craigslist to steal stolen vehicles. Here's how they do it. They replace the stolen VIN number with one from a similar model found online, leading people to misleading information during their research.
Unfortunately, you find out eventually that this car is stolen, that it was a fake VIN, and you're out all that money. There aren't any options at that point.
Hardin is urging people to always get a second opinion before signing on the dotted line. And there's been a heavy presence of state troopers in some areas, and you've probably seen them conducting car searches along some roads. Well, this afternoon, we now know why. According to ASP, it's because of a 5-day project, which has led to more than 150 criminal arrests being made so far. Recovery efforts continue as the northern part of the state was left in pieces following deadly tornadoes from last weekend. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is the latest big name official to get eyes on the damage. He started out in Rogers and surveyed destroyed areas along Benton County. Cotton shared updates on the work being done to address the need of assistance in places fighting to get back on their feet.
So there's a lot of work to be done in addition to getting people back into homes. But I want everyone to know that Senator Bozeman and Congressman Womack and Governor Sanders and the whole team will be there with them all along the way to make sure they get the help that they need.
Senator Cotton was joined by the mayor and city clerk as they also looked through the rubbish at sites in Decatur. In the meantime, President Biden has signed the disaster relief declaration for Northwest Arkansas. We're doing our part by partnering with our sister station, KFSM, and American Red Cross to offer assistance. Anyone looking to get involved and donate, just text the word GIVE to 501-376-1111. The threat of severe weather can put you at risk for hardship. Just ahead, we'll ease your burdens with ways to avoid taking the bait from fake contractors.
And after a rainy start to our Friday, we have more rain heading our way, even though we see a little sunshine out there. I'll have my full forecast coming up after the break.